21st century skaters take the ice as we begin the 2001 State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman will defend their pairs title for the first time. The 99 U.S. champs Danielle and Steve Hartzell return after Danielle suffered a fractured knee that kept them out of last year's championships. In dance, Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев skate for their third consecutive title. Welcome to Boston, home of Paul Revere, the Old North Church, and the 2001 State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Reminders of American history and skating history throughout this town of Boston. A gorgeous look down on the Frog Pond, a longtime recreational skating area here in this city. The real action, though, taking place tonight inside the Fleet Center. For the first time in nearly 40 years, Boston is home to the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Along with Susie Wynn, I'm Terry Gannon. Peter Carruthers and Peggy Fleming will join us a little bit later on. We get things underway with the original dance, the second of three phases of the competition for the ice dancers. And right now, a look at the standings. Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев, the two-time and reigning champions, in the lead over Beata Handra and Charles Sinek, Jessica Joseph, and Brandon Forsythe, rounding out the top three. As always, in the original dance, there are 5 required elements. Perhaps the straight line footwork, one of the most important, a chance for the top teams to separate themselves from the pack.
Representing the Skating Club of Boston, here are Jessica Valentine and Matthew Cossack.
And here's the first team to take the ice here in the original dance. They've been together for 5 seasons. Jessica Valentine and Matthew Cossack. They're in 5th place after the 2 compulsory dances.
Starting off with a little Cole Porter, a foxtrot.
The original dance, 2.5 minutes long, worth 30% of the overall score.
This team is coached by Tom Lazinski and Karen Cullinan, and their choreographer is Barrett Brown from the Skating Club of Boston. In addition to the required elements, the skaters are allowed to have some of their own flair moves. Very smooth rotational lift. They're entering into the quick step portion of their combination dance. Little Duke Ellington, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, Terry.
There you go. Jessica's 18 years of age from Green, Maine, and Matthew, 21 years old, goes to the University of Massachusetts. I believe the campus, well, the main campus is in Amherst, but the branch that is right here in Boston. This is a team, as you mentioned, from the Skating Club of Boston, training right here in town.
So the side-by-side footwork needs to go from end to end. Look for unison, speed and difficulty in the turns. Little bobble there. Side-by-side footwork really shows the capability of the individual, how sure-footed they are. Right into their dance spin. It has to turn 3 times. Well done. This was a really a nice step up for them. They are junior competitors. This is their first time in senior, and that's a big step.
If not one of the overall favorites, certainly one of the local favorites.
Exactly.
Right here. The crowd definitely enjoying the performance here in the original dance. of Jessica Valentine and Matthew Kosick.
Here in the straight line footwork, they didn't quite start at the end of the ice. It must move from one end of the ice to the other. They have a fairly nice unison in the beginning. Here, bracket steps, which are quite difficult. They just start to lose their timing and unison toward the end, and they really need to keep that close together to be competitive with the top teams here.
There's a look at the panel of 9 judges. More than anything here in the original dance, they're looking for mistakes. What about the deductions, Susie?
Well, here they are. For a stumble or a brief interruption, it's a 1/10 deduction. A fall of one partner is a 2/10 deduction. A fall of both partners, a 3/10 deduction. And if the lady is lifted too high above the man's head, a 1/10 deduction.
Now there'll be 2 sets of marks here in the original dance. The first for composition, the second for presentation. Here's the first set in the 4.5 to 4.8 range.
Well, I think these marks are fair. They're middle of the line, but they have a lot of work to do in their difficulty.
5.0.
And now the second set for presentation, 4.6 up to a 5.0, Susie.
They're very smooth, and for the first time out in seniors, I think they did a great job.
So the original dance underway. Valentine and Kosick get things started here at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. ESPN2's presentation of the 2001 State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy, Chevy will be there. Back inside the Fleet Center in Boston, the original dance continues here at the 2001 State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. One of the reasons this particular national championship is so special, the history here. The Skating Club of Boston opened its doors in 1912. It was a driving force in skating early on, and one of the great names it helped produce, one Dick Button, who would go on to win 7 U.S. gold medals and 2 Olympic gold medals as well. What a great career Dick has had. And unfortunately, we've got to report to you that our friend and colleague, Dick Button, will not be behind the microphone at a national championship for the first time since 1961. That was a long run. Dick had a fall a couple of weeks ago and hit his head. We are happy to report, though, that he is on the mend and recovering. And, Dick, our best to you. Get back out here very quickly. We miss you, okay? Susie Wynn joins me once again. And, Susie, Naomi Lang, Peter Chernishev, the 2-time and reigning U.S. champions, they're back. But from last year's national championships in Cleveland, the silver medalist, the bronze medalist, they're not here in Boston, so it is wide open.
It really is. Lang and Chernichev right now are clearly and solidly in the lead, and they're such quality champions. But the real excitement in this event is that only 2 teams go on to the World Championships, and right now there are 3 couples gunning for that position. Have a look out for Tanith Belbin and Benjamin Augusto. They have extraordinary ability. They are last year's junior champs. And then there's the new team of Jessica Joseph and Brandon Forsythe. They have also great potential and speed. And then, of course, there's the experience of Beata Handra and Charles Sinek. Now, all of these teams are very well matched and very evenly matched, so they'll have to bring their best performance here in this original dance if they're going to win a berth on the world team. So where they land, no one knows, and that's what makes this event in dance very exciting.
Tanith Belbin and Benjamin Augusto.
And taking the ice right now, one of the teams Susie just mentioned. Great future ahead of them. Tanith Belbin, Benjamin Augusto, not only the junior national champions, but they're the junior world bronze medalist, and they recently won the Junior Grand Prix championship.
This couple is so impressive because of their speed and how well they work with one another. Their partnering is fabulous.
Greatest love the world has known. This is the love I'll give to you alone. More
Very pretty and well-centered dance spin.
words I try to say. I only live to love you more each day. I know I never lived before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more.
A very difficult rotational lift is so well executed.
Tanith, originally from Montreal. She is trying to get her green card, and by the way, even once she does that, it'll be another 5 years, I believe, before she becomes a citizen. So forget about the next Olympic Games. Benjamin Augusto celebrated his 19th birthday on Monday, right here in Boston.
Great footwork. These two have such strong fundamentals. That's what makes them very secure and over their feet.
One of the young teams trying to fill the void left by last year's silver medalist and the team that everybody thought had the best future, Jamie Silverstein, Justin Pekarek. They are no longer together. Justin may give up the sport entirely. And Debbie Kegel, Oleg Fedyukov, who are bronze medalists, did come here. They started to skate at the end of the first compulsory dance. Oleg actually fell, re-injured a quad muscle near his kneecap, and they were forced to withdraw from the competition.
It's really been a year of surprises in the dance world. Great unison in this twizzle sequence. You can really see the difficulty, and yet they're able to maintain their speed.
Girls, 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 girls.
These two are very musical and delightful to watch. They're in for the long haul. They're very devoted to this sport. You can really see that in their performance here.
Well, I know you know him well, too. You used to be his coach, right?
I used to be, and he was a delight to teach, that's for sure.
What a great foundation from Coach Susie Wynn. Tanith Belbin and Benjamin Augusto, the junior national champions, now on the senior level.
Now this rotational lift is extraordinary because a couple things have to happen. She needs to have a strong core, great flexibility. He has to have just the right momentum to be able to spin the lift and the balance between them. And to come out of this as smoothly as they did, boy, that's really special.
5.5.
Let's see what the marks are now. For composition, 5.0 up to 5.5.
5.4 and 5.0.
Well, I think they should be really pleased with some of these marks. The 5.4s and 5.5s, those are quite nice. Oh, a little low.
5.5.
Igor Spielman, Liz Coates, their coaches. They train in Detroit. Now, presentation, 5.1 up to 5.6, Susie.
And for as young as they are, they really have some great scores. They really are quite mature.
A lot of energy, too. Tanith Belbin, Benjamin Augusto. Their effort here in the original dance. Well, Susie recently joined forces with the legendary Christopher Dean to help explain and demonstrate some of the intricacies of ice dancing.
You may be wondering why I'm blindfolded. Well, I'm here with Olympic champ Christopher Dean, and we're going to show you how it's about touch, not just sight.
That's right, Susie. It's about the hold. This hand and this hand. I'm squeezing her tight, which creates this strong circle, this circle of confidence, as I call it. And then off we go. A little improvisation. And turn. This is the first time today we've done this, so she's got to totally rely on what I'm doing.
Oh, that's fun. Gosh, I could totally feel where you wanted me to be.
That's right, Susie. It's all about the trust and the hold. And whilst we're here, I'm off to have my coffee. So, see you later.
Chris, hey.
Hi, I'm Wayne Corbett. You know, nothing beats a long drive that puts 6 points on the board. Just like nothing beats a long drive in a new Chevy from Paramus Chevrolet. In fact, I've bought all my cars here. You won't believe their selection. They've got over 90 cars just in their showroom. And over 700 vehicles available, from cars to trucks, Corvettes to SUVs, minivans, and certified pre-owned vehicles. You just can't catch a better deal than a Paramus Chevrolet. So if you want to come out a winner, pay less, get more, shop Chevy at Paramus Chevrolet.
If you build it, they will come. That's not what I had in mind. 30 superstars, one ring. The WWF Royal Rumble, live Sunday, January 21st on pay-per-view.
We'll get those little rascals next time. She walked through the door with enough heat to melt the ice at First Union Center. She was trouble from the start. She wanted to know my credentials. I told her about being the alternate captain, about the 7 All-Star appearances. I told her I was one of the best two-way players around. And that's when she slapped me. I guess I had to explain that one.
Kings Flyers, Monday at 7 on ESPN2.
Make sure you join us for the first Grand Slam event of the season as coverage of the Australian Open continues from Melbourne, Australia. Defending champ Andre Agassi and two-time winner Pete Sampras both have advanced to the third round. Coverage continues on ESPN and ESPN2 through January 27th. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Meanwhile, the original dance continues here in Boston. Terry Gannon along with Susie Wynn. Here are Kimberly Navarro and Robert Schmalow. They're in 6th place after the compulsory dances.
They're opening up with a foxtrot and then transitioning into a Charleston.
In Mellowtown, that's the way to live.
Moving up to the senior ranks for the first time this season. They placed 10th at the Junior National Championships last year.
Just go your way. You know there's joy unknown in
This is their diagonal footwork. It must move from corner to corner. They need to have their hold lifted a little bit higher so that they have a broader line. They certainly have a nice feel and sensitivity to the music. A lot of the skaters have chosen the foxtrot, the Charleston, and the quick step, but they're also allowed to choose a march, and I haven't seen one march this season, Terry.
Tough to march?
It's tough to blend the march with these tempos and these rhythms. It's a nice fast dance spin, well centered.
Kimberly is 19 years of age from Santa Rosa, California. Robert is 23 from Cincinnati. Both are students. Kimberly goes to Columbia. Robert is in law school.
Now, the hard thing about Charleston is there's a lot of tight footwork, and it's hard to move it out. That's what Ben and Tanis did so well. They really were able to keep the speed in their quick step. They sort of set a strong tone here. Difficult footwork. It just needs to move out so that it has that explosive power and interest.
Move out, meaning go faster?
Go faster and cover that ice. Thanks for clearing that up, Terry. What I like about them is they look very much like they're enjoying their performance, and that means a lot. They need to get a little more difficulty into that dance, but well done.
Not a bad debut, though. Their first trip to the Senior National Championships. Kimberly Navarro and Robert Schmalow.
Now here in the diagonal footwork, it must move from corner to corner. See, watch their hips. They could get a little closer, and that would make a better picture. And if they broaden their hold a little bit, they'd have a better line through their back. But still, watch their faces. Nice enthusiasm and good expression.
Only 2.5 minutes long, maybe, but every skater comes off the ice out of breath, trying to gasp for some air. Composition marks 4-1 to 4-7.
Well, what was missing in this dance was the difficulty in the flow.
And their marks for
the elements are there. They just need to broaden the difficulty, really.
4.0.
Presentation marks now, though. Low mark 4.0 up to 5.1, Susie.
I'm a little surprised by that because I do feel that they use their music well. And they expressed the feeling of the dance very well. As
so Navarro and Schmalow into 3rd place overall so far. When we come back, Jessica Joseph and Brandon Forsythe looking to medal here in Boston.
Well,
They'll skate when we come back.
Please take the ice. Welcome now, Jessica Joseph and Brendan Forsyth.
Back at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships, the original dance underway. Tanith Melvin, Benjamin Augusto in the lead so far, but here's a team in third after the compulsory dances. Jessica Joseph and Brandon Forsyth, and he is a local guy. Born in Concord, grew up in Lexington.
And I think here in the original dance, their personalities will really come through.
Just a baby in this business of love. I'm a mover, a shaker, like nothing.
They've only been together since July, and that is so hard. I've done that, coming back with a new partner. There's so much to learn about how each other moves, and they really are on the right track.
They both have plenty of experience, but just not together. Brandon with his partner last year, 2000 World Junior Silver Medalist and Junior National Silver Medalist, and Jessica along with Charles Butler, the 98 World Junior Champions.
Nobody ever trained me. Somebody save me. I'm just a baby in this business of love. This business of love. This business of love.
Now in the warm-up, this footwork was really sharp, and you can see the unison's off, and they wavered. They moved in and out. They didn't stay equidistant. This is a quick step. Really watch the feet, the neatness of feet, being on one foot and maintaining flow. Sharper here in the diagonal footwork. But again, in warm-up, they were blasting. It was really impressive, and they've lost a little bit of that here with the music. Well, they've got all the right stuff. All the ingredients are there. They just need a little more time to gain the confidence and that feel with one another.
Been competing against each other and have been friends for some 10 years now, but together since August. That's not a long time. Jessica Joseph and Brandon Forsyth.
Now here in their straight line footwork, right here, see how close they get suddenly, and then as the footwork continues, they start to break apart. And that's what the judges are really looking for. You really want to see one form out there, and that's hard. That's really hard to do, keep that unison, and there, the unison's off. That's going to separate again. That's a separating factor for the judges. It's so easy to identify.
5.1.
That's a great point you make, because that's so hard to pick up, too. The intricacies of ice dancing sometimes are so small.
I think it's hard, but once you know what to look for, anybody can spot them.
It's their coach, Alexander Julin, the 93 world champion, now 5.0 to 5.3 for composition.
They have some wonderful choreography. Again, it's just the speed that's lacking and a little gappy. They're not skating as close together, and that's simply because they're new together.
Presentation marks in the 5.2 to 5.4 range. So Jessica Joseph, Brandon Forsyth into second place overall so far. When we come back, one of the teams competing for a medal, perhaps a gold medal, Beata Handra and Charles Sinek, the husband-wife team, takes the ice when we return to Boston. Don't forget, our coverage of the State Farm U.S. Championships continues throughout the weekend. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, two-time defending national champion Michael Weiss takes on Timothy Gable and five-time champion Todd Eldridge. Then At 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, Michelle Kwan goes for her 5th national title. Then over on ABC Sports Saturday afternoon, coverage of the championship free skates begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Taking the ice now here in the original dance, Beata Handra and Charles Sinek in second place after the compulsory dances. They won the Pacific Coast Sectionals a year ago. This year competed in the Grand Prix. We saw them place 6th and 7th in their 2 events, trying to win a medal here in Boston.
They really had a strong compulsory round. That's really where their strengths are. The music, Happy Feet by Paolo Conte.
Fourth at the national championships last year, but remember, Silverstein and Pekarik, who are the silver medalists, are not here. Kegel and Fedyukov are not here. It's a great opportunity.
It really is. I think they're ready for it. They have very nice foot placement and a very intricate beginning.
That's me, I lie to you, and everything goes crazy. And I'm accusing you. I want you, but you need. Yes, sir. I'll bother you, and somebody give me a kiss here.
This is a difficult lift because of the transition. It starts on one curve and exits on a opposite curve.
That's right.
Oh, baby, what you doing tonight?
Now, what's nice about their straight line footwork is they add curves to it, but they are able to keep those curves equidistant. It just makes it visually a little more interesting.
Baby, what you doing tonight?
That was really well skated. I just love her expression. She has a sense of warmth about her, and they really work so well together. Nice job.
They train in Muncie, New York, but Charles is a local product, too. Lexington, Massachusetts. That's where he's from. Beata Handra and Charles Sinek.
Now, here in their dance lift, she has a beautiful straight back. He has very secure feet. But what's hard about lifts are the transitions. Here he's got to change to her other leg and release her. And that sometimes the transitions aren't as smooth. But the beginning of that lift was quite nice.
And here are the judges' marks for Beata Handra and Charles Sinek for composition. 5.3, 5.1.
They were married back in 1996, been on the scene for some time. Beata's 24 years old, Charles 32. And now the marks for composition, 5.1 to 5.5.
And their marks
well, I think the 5.1 is a little bit low, but they do, again, need to move out a little bit more. It was well skated, however.
5.6.
Second set, 5.2 up to 5.6. And those are good enough to put Handra and Sinek into first place overall. Well, when we come back, Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев, they've won 2 straight national championships. Still, they switched coaches in the offseason. They're now led by world champion Alexander Zhulin, who has given them support on and off the ice.
I think the main thing that we needed coming from last year is he's been a great support. He's been our backbone of the team. I think he helps us through the good times and the bad times. He's always there for us, no matter when we need him.
Lang and Peter Chernyshев.
Back inside the Fleet Center, the original dance continues. Handra and Sinek in first place. Tanith Belbin, Benjamin Augusto in second. ahead of Joseph and Forsyth. But taking the ice right now, the two-time and reigning U.S. champions, the overwhelming favorites to win here in Boston, Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев.
Their first piece of music is called Fly Me to the Moon. It's certainly a smooth and silky approach to the foxtrot. And they waste no time. They get right into their straight line footwork here.
This man here is going to take me by the hand, and he's going to lead me down the right path to righteousness.
Nice unison.
And all that other mother jazz.
And difficult turns.
Tempo. Fly me to the moon. Let me swing among those stars.
How can you not tap your feet to this song, huh?
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
See how close they're skating together on these ballroom turns.
Hold my hand. In other words, baby,
their lifts are so effortless that if you saw a team try them that had less ability, then you would realize how good they are at lifting.
Forevermore.
Not to slight her at all, but there are folks around the skating world who talk about Peter Chernyshев as perhaps the best male skater in ice dancing out there.
He really is. He has great control. He used to be a free skater, but he also has a great feel for dancing. I've danced with him. You just know exactly where you need to be. He's great at leading you into positions. A beautiful hydroblading move. A nice highlight there. Step. This is, I would say, a departure rhythm for them. They're normally skating to things that are long lined and smooth. So this is challenging for them, but they do very well with it. Superior quality. These two are outstanding. They're great national champions, and they really involve the audience in this original dance.
Naomi Lang, 22 years of age, originally from Michigan, and Peter Chernyshев from St. Petersburg, Russia. Can't wait to get his citizenship on January 29th back at home in Detroit. Lang and Chernyshев will have their scores when we come back to Boston.
Shouldn't the greatest challenge of your family ski vacation be the mountains? Smuggler's Notch Resort in Vermont has some of the greatest challenges in skiing and snowboarding. And keeping the kids happy won't be a challenge at all. Smuggler's Notch Vermont, America's family resort, the #1 family resort in North America.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that dog.
If you lost it, broke it, need it cheap, or just can't find it anywhere else, eBay.
Tickly, tickly. Power forwards, got the power pad. Yeah. Is this hip hop? Hey, Rashid, call some girls.
I like being Rashid a lot better than being Doug.
Get into the lives of athletes off the field. The Life on ESPN.
Ever wonder how your favorite athletes occupy free time during their days off? Well, here's your chance to find out. ESPN debuts its newest series, The Life, every Saturday at 10 Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time. The Life, an all-access pass to athletes' lives off the field. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Alexander Sasha Zulin, their new coach, congratulating Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев, the two-time and reigning U.S. gold medalist, after a terrific performance here in the original dance.
And they waste no time. They get right into their straight line footwork. They've got great control, wonderful, quick feet. You just watch, their bodies are strong, their feet are secure. And here, those turns are so hard to keep in unison, and they do it. And it's exceptional. And one thing they're so wonderful at is highlight moves. This is a hydroblading move. Look how he has using no arms there. That's just simple, great edge control, and she has a lovely arch in her back.
Composition.
Well, they received a perfect 6.0, the first of their careers last year at the Nationals. That was in the free dance. Let's see what they get here. Composition, 5.5 to 5.8.
Well, there's a lot of agreement. I feel the 5.8 is more in the range of the mark that I would have given them.
Presentation marks forthcoming. Here they are, 5.7 up to 5.9, just that close to a 6.0.
5.9, 5.8.
But a great way to start this 2001 State Farm U.S. Championships. Naomi Lang, Peter Chernyshев into the lead. And certainly the favorite to win the gold medal. Remember, the two spots on the world team still open.
Of Arizona in Tempe, Arizona. Please welcome now Caitlin Obremski and Jonathan Magalnik.
So it's Lang and Chernyshев over Handra and Sinek, Belbin and Augusto in third. And this is the final team to take the ice. Caitlin Obremski and Jonathan Magalnik.
It's always hard to skate after the leader, so you have to really keep your focus and concentration and just do what you know you can.
Getting a chance to see every one of the ice dance teams here in the competition. That's kind of rare, but the attrition rate has been extremely high with injuries. But we have talked, Susie, the last couple of years about the fact that with the youngsters coming up, ice dancing in the United States is certainly on the rise.
It really is, and now there are more opportunities at the younger level, at the novice and junior level, so people are sticking it out in those levels and not rushing to get into seniors.
Can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?
Performing this well, but their upper body position, they're not connected very well. You can see here an arm-to-arm position. These are considered less difficult. And they're a little far away. I always say when I'm teaching, gappy. And that makes it easier.
Is that the technical term for it?
It's my technical term. But when you're that far apart, it's hard to get speed because your forces are not working together.
Caitlin Obremski is from Clifton, Virginia. Jonathan Magalnik from Phoenix, Arizona, but they live and train in Laurel, Maryland. He attends the University of Maryland, and actually Caitlin is a senior in high school, and that's where she wants to go to college.
Skating to the Charleston, dance of the 20s, considered the flapper dance. Characteristic of fast footwork and lots of fun. Well, they certainly performed this well. It's just hard to skate right after the champs, but they held it together, they kept their focus, and that's good.
kept their poise, but a tough act to follow. We'll come back and check the marks for Obremski and Mogalnik and have a word with the leaders, Lang and Chernyshев, in a moment.
4.0, 3.8, 8,
Welcome back to Boston as Caitlin Obremski and Jonathan Mogalnik sit alongside Genrikh Stratensky, their coach, and a fourth-place finisher at the 88 Olympics. First set, 3.7 to 4.5.
Some of these marks are disappointingly low for them. They really need to step up the quality of their skating and the difficulty.
Yeah, the 3.7, not what they want to see for presentation. 3.8, so not much higher, up to 4.6. But it's the two-time and reigning champions, Lang and Chernyshев, in the lead right now after the original dance, ahead of Handra and Sinek, who are in a good spot for the silver as well as the second place on the World Championship team. Belbin and Augusto round out the top three. The leaders have been joined by Peter Carruthers right now. Peter?
Okay, Terry. Well, Naomi, 3 5.9s. What does that mean to your ice dancing?
Well, in OD, that's just so special to us. We've never gotten 5.9s in ODs before, so it's very, very exciting.
Now, the coaching change, talk about that. How has that impacted you in such a positive way?
It was such a great help. I mean, in every way, basically. I think that emotionally and physically we're in much better shape, and we're getting so much more support from Alexander. Everything's great.
Excellent. Well, good luck going into the free dance. Congrats.
Thank you.
Terry, back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you. 8th in the world last season and now going for their 3rd straight national title. You can see that free dance Saturday evening over on ABC Sports, along with Michelle Kwan and the ladies skating for gold with their free skate. Our coverage begins at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific time on ABC. Much more to come tonight from Boston, though. When we come back, the pairs will begin their quest for a national title. That's when we come back to the Fleet Center. Welcome back to Boston, everybody. A great look high above this old city. The night lights shining brightly as we welcome you back inside the Fleet Center. The Celtics and the Bruins out of town. It's all about figure skating this week. The State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. The pairs getting set now for their short program. Terry Gannon back with you. We are only just beginning from Boston. Remember, we're with you throughout the week and the weekend. Friday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern over on ESPN. You've got the men with Todd Eldridge and Timothy Gable and Michael Weiss. Then at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, Michelle Kwan and the ladies, their short programs. And over on ABC Sports Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, we've got the championship free skates. Right now, as the pairs get set to go, we welcome in one of New England's own, Peter Carruthers, the Olympic silver medalist. Peter, you look at this field here for the pairs, the 99 U.S. champions, Danielle and Steve Hartzell, one of the favorites. They were out last year because of an injury. Danielle fractured her knee. They missed this event. A rocky start now already here in Boston.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bad luck has continued for the Hartzels here at the U.S. Skating Championships in Boston. The bad luck started with a very bad fall on a lift. Danielle falling 8 feet out of the air on top of Steven's head. Off to the hospital he went 14 stitches later, and a doctor's release saying, yes, you can skate. He wanted to skate, she wanted to skate. There they are in practice earlier today. Now they're backstage warming up. They're ready to compete, believe it or not. Down but not out. Pair skating, a very dangerous sport.
We're reminded of that all the time. He had a CAT scan, by the way. He did not have a concussion, no further damage, so he is set to go. I'm thrilled to welcome in right now the 5-time U.S. champion Peggy Fleming. And we were just talking about this before we went on. The 20th year now behind the microphone. How did that happen so quickly?
I don't know how that happened. It just happened.
Overnight, as a matter of fact. You are one who's always embodied the grace of figure skating. What about the danger, though? You know well about that, too.
Well, Terry, you know what strikes me most about all of this is the courage that pair skaters have. Not only do they need the skills of a single skater, but they also need the guts to throw your partner in the air or be thrown. And in addition to the artistry and flow and strength, a pair skater needs bravery. And I think we tend to forget that. But on a happier note, our reigning national champions, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, are finally breaking through on the world level. They made the podium at Trophy Lalique this fall, and I expect them to defend their title here. It's been a long struggle for Kyoko and John, but they're beginning to look like champions.
And that Trophy La Ligue competition, a major event earlier this season, and the Grand Prix Series. Well, Peter, as always, there are 8 required elements in the pairs short program.
And one of the spectacular moves to look for is the split double twist, where the lady has to attain a full split before completing 2 rotations.
Our next competitors represent the University of Delaware Figure Skating Club in Newark, Delaware. Let's have a warm welcome now for Laura Handy and Jonathan Hunt.
So here we go, the first pair to take the ice. They have only been together for some 6 months now. Laura Handy and Jonathan Hunt.
And I think their styles are very similar, and I think he's a good match for Laura.
And Laura Handy knows all about the danger in this sport. You may remember last year with her former partner Paul Benabose had a frightening crash in practice. Paul fractured his skull.
Very nice opening split, double twist. Good height, good extension on that split.
Testing the single skills, the side-by-side triple toe loops, and she has a hard fall.
Follow up on that story, Paul Benabose nearly died after that fall in practice. Happy to say that he has recovered. He was coaching for a while in Sugar Land, Texas. By all accounts, his career over, but we hear now that he is starting to practice for what could be a comeback, and actually against the advice of some of his coaches, his former coaches, but we do certainly wish him well. Laura Handy has come back very well emotionally from that experience.
Now the throw triple Salchow. The timing has to be just right. You don't want to throw your partner too hard. Nice timing there. Judges looking for the unison, making sure that the skaters are spinning together at the same rate of speed.
Very nice death spiral extension. Their final pair spin. An unfortunate mistake for them that will definitely take points off of the first mark of required elements, a fall on the side-by-side triple toes, but there's potential there.
So the pair short program opening up with 20-year-old Laura Handy from Atlantic City and 19-year-old Jonathan Hunt from Rochester, Michigan.
Tough for the judges when you watch pair skating, because you have to look at 2 people performing the jump. Here are the side-by-side triple toe loops. He lands his, but you can see she does indeed fall. A 3/10 deduction right there. And again, the timing is very important. They have a nice throw triple Salchow, good coverage across the ice. She wants to strengthen her back a little more on that landing, but well done.
Insist that there be no flash photography for the safety of the skaters.
This is the backward outside death spiral. The lady wants to put her left hip up in the air right there and arch the back. That's called the bridge.
There's a look at the panel of 9 judges who will offer their decisions here tonight. Peter, remember there are 8 required elements. What about the deductions they'll be taking?
Well, remember in skating, we work off of a perfect mark of 6.0. For example, if a pair falls on a throw jump, they take a 3/10 deduction, or a stumble during steps, 1 to 2/10.
Their coaches alongside Tracy Politis on the right, and Ron Lunnington, who coached Peter in his sister Kitty to 4 U.S. titles, right? 4 national championships.
5.0,
And now the first of 2 sets of marks for required elements, 4.5 up to 5.1.
Well, I think they have a lot of potential. I mean, their body line is very similar, and she got wonderful height on those throw jumps. And their side-by-side jumps in practice were very good.
Presentation marks now, wide range here, 4.9 to 5.6.
Well, indeed, these do come up because that does not reflect the mistake on the fall.
There are the marks for Laura Handy and Jonathan Hunt. When we come back, it's the 99 U.S. champions on the comeback trail again. Danielle and Steve Hartzell break the ice next. Join us for the first Grand Slam event of the season as coverage of the Australian Open continues from Melbourne, Australia. Defending champion Lindsay Davenport takes on tough competition from Martina Hingis and the powerful Williams sisters. Coverage continues on ESPN and ESPN2 through January 27th. For more, as always, log on to ESPN.com. Meanwhile, the brother-sister team of Danielle and Steve Hartzell set to go. There's Danielle, and in terms of Steve's head, you can see the effects of the fall Tuesday in practice. He talked to us earlier this afternoon about what went through his mind during that crash.
We're taught when we first learn lifts, since the girl's a lot higher up in the air, to try to protect her at first, and then try to protect ourselves second, since the girl has a lot farther to fall. And that's basically what I was thinking. I wanted her to be okay first, and then I tried to protect myself, but I guess it didn't work too well.
I don't think anyone can understand that he's my brother as well as my partner. We've been skating together for 14 years, but he's been my brother my whole life, and to see him in pain, it just killed me, and I couldn't do anything for him.
Representing the Detroit Skating Club in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, let's have a warm Boston welcome for Danielle Hartzell and Steve Hartzell.
Translation is that he was doing everything he could to break her fall to reduce the impact.
Out last year with the fractured knee that Danielle suffered. Supposed to be a smooth comeback. It has been anything but here they go.
Skating to the music of Toccata and Fugue by Bach. And they open with this back outside death spiral.
With all that's happened to this team, now they must focus on the difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. Here they are. How about that?
Good for them.
Wow. What focus.
You can just feel this crowd really pulling for them. They want them to do well and be safe.
But lifting's got to be a little bit scary, but they are not holding back. Very nice.
Not yet over the mental recuperation, recovery, call it what you will, of that fall last season. Danielle says she still thinks about it every time she goes up in the air.
And as we know, in skating, that mental game is a real tough game. Transitions in the spiral sequence.
Elements left in their short program. This, the split double twist. And one of the more difficult moves in pair skating. Coming up right here, they'll end with the throw triple Salchow. She'll rotate 3 times, hoping to land backwards on one foot. She does. Oh. What a triumph for them.
Good. And that nice held edge to this in position.
You're darn right.
So happy for them.
A lot of courage in that performance. And this crowd well aware of what they have been through. Not only a figure skating crowd, but here in Boston since that fall, it has gotten a lot of coverage. The injury and the 14 stitches sustained by Steve Hartzell.
Doesn't that tell a lot about the character that these two have? How close they are, how much trust they have in one another. Outstanding.
And this is where they first tested their courage here tonight, was the side-by-side triple toe loops. Very difficult, and they just nailed these. They were done so well, and the crowd really got with them at this point. And at the final move in their program, this throw, triple Salchow, look at the good height she gets. Very much in control in this landing, and this nice held edge right to this ending position. Oh, it's so nice.
Just a bit out of breath right now, Danielle and Steve Hartzell. But these should be very high marks. You can see how excited they are already. The first set, 5.4 to 5.6.
Well, you know, the marks are one thing, but what they have done is skated very well under adverse conditions. It just shows that they're totally trained and able to focus under any circumstance.
5.5.
You really never know how you're going to compete under the pressure after coming back off of something like that. Presentation marks now 5.2 to 5.7.
And I think they did focus on this program and really gave it a lot of emotion, and the audience really felt that.
Terrific way to open up the national championships.
In side-by-side spins, unison is critical. The best pairs usually spin in exactly the same position at exactly the same rate of speed. Let's check out American champions Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman and listen to this.
1, 2, 3.
You can hear John counting. The key to this is that each time Kyoko hears him count, she wants to make sure she's facing him. That's what keeps the spin together.
Another pair team representing the Detroit Skating Club. Here are Stephanie Kalasavich and Aaron Parcham.
The pair short program continues here in Boston. Terry Gannon, Peggy Fleming, and Peter Carruthers ringside as Stephanie Kalasavich and Aaron Parcham take the ice. Their second season together, their first trip to the Senior National Championships. They're the 2000 U.S. Junior champions.
They're skating to the music from the motion picture Gravity of Love, performed by Enigma.
Boy, are they building up nice speed going into the split double twist. Great height. Look at the coverage of ice. Wonderful.
Now into this throw, triple Salchow. Good height. Wonderful control on that landing. Good speed.
Pretty impressive start to their careers together. I mean, they've only been together since May of '99. They won the U.S. Junior title.
Again, that lift traveling a long distance on the ice. Very nice. In the pair spin, one change of foot, one change of position. And the pair team has to hit a minimum of 8 revolutions while spinning.
Stephanie, only 16 years of age, from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Aaron, 23, from Chicago.
And now coming up side-by-side triple Salchows, which is a more difficult move than the triple toes. Other couples have been doing that, and she had trouble on that landing.
Stumbling there, two-footed.
But it was a nice, ambitious attempt.
do enjoy their stroking. In other words, the crossovers they have going into the various elements. The foundation of skating is very good.
And this is their final move, this outside death spiral.
And they energize the crowd.
They
People
certainly did.
can really pick up when they're seeing good skating. They had some mistakes, but again, a very solid foundation of skating within this pair.
Terrific start to the program, too. They didn't sustain it maybe for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, but they did get the crowd energized right away. Stephanie Kalsavich and Aaron Parcham here in the pairs short program.
Take a look at the size of this throw triple Salchow. Not only does she travel a long way across the distance, but she's about 3 feet in the air there. Perfect position, straight up and down. That allows for a perfect landing. Wonderful. But they did get into trouble here. These are the side-by-side triple Salchows. 3 rotations for each partner. He lands his, but she puts her foot down, and there will be a 2/10 deduction.
4.9, 4.8,
Their coaches, Mitch Moyer on the right, Johnny Johns on the left. Now the first set of marks, these should be pretty high, 4.8 up to 5.3.
5.3 and
well, with the mistake that occurred on her triple Salchow, that cannot be
and their
ignored.
marks for presentation.
You don't want to open the door
5.1
with a mistake like that.
5.
Presentation marks now 5.1 to 5.5, so those are better. That's a pretty good short program, all said and done. That Stephanie Kalsavich and Aaron Parcham now into 3rd place overall. Up next, Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon, one of the many teams affected, having been at practice when Steve Hartzell had his fall on Tuesday. They know how dangerous pair skating can be.
I think what we do is risky. I think there's always a risk involved with skating pairs, and it's dangerous. And you have to be, prepared, and you have to be sharp. And even then, obviously, with the case this week, you never know, because the Hartzels were, I'm sure, very prepared for this week, and they're in great shape, and still that can happen. So it's just, we've been very lucky, I think, so far.
A reminder, World Cup skiing moves to Kitzbühel, Austria. The top skiers in the world take on one of the most famous courses in the world. Coverage of the men's Super G starts tomorrow at midnight Eastern Time with the downhill and the slalom coverage this weekend. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Meanwhile, Steve Hartzell has now told us it was 12 stitches he received in his head. He and Danielle, his sister, are now with Susie Wynn. Susie?
Thanks, Terry. Stephen, yesterday was a very difficult day. You had a hard practice, a tough fall, and 12 stitches. How did you pull this great performance out of the bag?
Well, coming in this competition, we knew we were extremely prepared for this competition. We worked harder than I've ever think we've worked before in our lives. And today we drew on that. We've done this program like the last couple of weeks. We've been skating clean pretty much every day, and we knew we could do it. It was just a matter of getting on the warm-up and getting my feet under me and making sure, and just knowing how I was going to feel out there. And once I knew that, I knew we were fine.
Now, going into the free program, did this give you a lot of confidence going into that?
Oh, definitely. We wanted to have a good skate tonight, and I think we feel really great about the way we skated, and we're ready for Friday.
Well, super. Good luck to you in the free program.
Thank you.
Terry, back to you.
She represents
all right, Susie, so the pairs short program continues now as Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon take the ice.
Please welcome Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon.
They're the reigning U.S. silver medalists, and they went on to the World Championships in Nice, where they had a top 10 finish. They placed 9th there. Certainly one of the favorites to challenge for the gold medal here.
And they're skating to their last year's program, so they're very familiar with this program. And their first element in this short program is a side-by-side triple toe loops.
Oh, and she has a tough fall. They have strong skating, but they really have been hit or miss. Nerves creeping in.
Now they have to let that go and go on with this program. twisted her knee, and she has been wearing a brace in practice. But I'm sure that that might be an element in the performance tonight.
Well, it gets repetitive to talk about these injuries, but they're so prevalent in the sport now. And besides the injured knee that Tiffany suffered, Philip Dulabon, competing with a fracture in his left wrist. He originally sustained that when he was 17, but really never felt the same. Over the summer, he had the wrist examined, and the verdict was that the bone was broken, never fully healed. He may have off-season surgery on that.
Very nice overhead lift, nice smooth transitions.
Throw triple sow cow. Not quite on with the jumps in terms of singles jumping or within the throws.
Spiral sequence seems a little shaky.
You know, that's a tough program to perform, a lot of interesting steps, but the timing was not right. It was a little bit rushed, and when that happens, you can run into trouble, especially the kind of trouble she ran into on her jump.
Tiffany Scott, a native of New England from Hanson, Massachusetts. A lot of folks here to watch her skate, along with Philip Dulabon from Germantown, Maryland.
And this was the opening element in the short program, the triple toe loops, in which she gets up there and does not finish that rotation. And you can see she didn't hold on to that landing. And that's going to be a 0.3 deduction. And now this back press lift, which I think is very, very nice. A beautiful position right there. And then it's a real nice transitions with all these changes of positions. Very nice extension on her part. Nice smooth layout.
5.3, 5.1.
The Hartzels, the 99 U.S. champs, in the lead so far, but now the scores for Scott and Dulabon, the required elements 5.0 to 5.3.
And certainly the first mark for required elements reflecting that deduction.
And their
that's a
marks for
disappointment for them. Have a fall like that.
5.6.
Remember, the short program worth 1/3 of the overall score. Presentation marks now 5.4 to 5.7 the range.
5.5,
So Scott and Dulabon into second place, right behind the Hartzels. Up next, the current U.S. bronze medalist Larissa Spielberg and Craig Joe-Wright set to go when we come back to Boston.
Please welcome now Larissa Spielberg and Craig Joe-Wright.
Back at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships, the Hartzels in the lead over Scott and Dulabon, then Handy and Hunt in third right now, as the current U.S. bronze medalists take the ice. Larissa Spielberg, 20 years old, from East Lansing, Michigan, and Craig Joe-Wright, 22, from Cleveland.
Skating to the music by Rodrigo. Pair team has nice energy, and they really connect well as a team.
All pairs must perform this move, the backward outside death spiral. It's hard to do because the lady must twist her body into an unnatural position to get that look.
And now coming up are the side-by-side double axles. She's been having trouble with them in the practices this week. Here they go for this forward outside takeoff. Oh,
yes, and
that's what she's been doing.
Not as difficult as side-by-side triple jumps, so that's always factored into the equation.
Remember how important this event is. Not only is it the national championship, but there are 2 spots open on the world team as well, and only 2.
outside edge, and there you've got to really stop the rotation and have a smooth, continuous edge on the exit. That did not occur there. Two big mistakes so far.
And this is a gorgeous lift. She hit such a beautiful position at the top of that. Looks so easy. They move together, though, over the ice. The flow and body line is matched so well.
Larissa coming off a fractured wrist, which kept them off the ice from August until mid-October. Then she injured her foot. It took them entirely out of the Grand Prix Series, so this is their first major competition of the season. Larissa Spielberg and Craig Gilwright.
Now on this double axel, watch as she gets up into the air, but she really just doesn't get the height, and she'll collapse on the landing. No chance to land that. 3/10 there. Unfortunate.
Spielberg and Craig Gilwright required
Golden opportunity perhaps wasted
3.9
tonight here in Boston by Spielberg and Gilwright. The first set, a 3.9 to a 4.6.
They know it. It's just so unfortunate because when you combine all those deductions, 6/10, so that really brings the first mark way down.
But I love this couple. I see a lot of potential in them, and I think we're going to see more of them in the future.
Presentation marks much better, 4.7 up to 5.4, but that's a disappointing performance for Spielberg and Gilwright.
Burbank,
back at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships, the pairs short program continues. Don't forget, pairs skate for the title Saturday evening along with the ladies free skate over on ABC Sports beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific. On the ice right now, Amanda Megarian and Jared Guzman. Fourth in this event last season.
We're skating to Ballet Rhapsody.
Open up with the side-by-side triple toe loops.
I think she two-footed her landing.
Absolutely.
Now this throw, triple Salchow. Wonderful height.
It had great height, but she was really leaning forward on the takeoff. Hard to get up into the air perpendicular when you're in that position.
There's a great excitement about this pair. They really relate to the audience and seem to have a really good time doing it as well.
And having seen Spielberg and Gilwright, the U.S. bronze medalists, struggle, they're down at 6th place. Amanda and Jared have to feel like the door is open for them a little bit here. Just off the podium last season.
Nice set down on the double twist.
And Jared's mother, Jenny Walsh Guzman, competed with me in 1967. She was the bronze medalist back then.
Yeah, who won that year, Peggy?
Let me think. Me.
Oh, that's right.
You get to say that a lot.
Me.
Oh boy, look at the speed they have on these side-by-side spins. That's great. A very fast rate of speed, right together, well, almost right together until the very end.
They have nice speed over the ice. They look very sure of themselves.
Overhead to a reverse star lift. They're skating strong at the end of the program. A lot of energy.
Yes, they're wonderful.
Not huge mistakes, small minor mistakes.
Two Californians who now live and train in Las Vegas out on the ice. Amanda Megarian and Jared Guzman. Fourth place finishers from last year's national championships in Cleveland.
And here is a look at that throw triple Salchow that they did in the program. And watch this back inside edge takeoff as he throws her up in the air. And look at how she is leaning in the air. And it really slows down her rotation. And she can't control the landing. And that'll be a minus 2/2 of a point deduction.
The judges' marks for Amanda Megarian and Jared Guzman for required
Peter Gordon,
elements.
Barbara Rolls, their coaches.
4.6.
And now the first set, 4.4 up to 4.8 the range.
4.8, 4.7.
Just to remind, the technical or the required elements mark is the first mark. That's where they take the deduction. And the second mark, the presentation.
5.0, 5.0.
Presentation a little less important here in the short program.
Absolutely
they concentrate on the required elements. 4.8 up to 5.3. So Megarian and Guzman right now into 5th place overall. Women's NCAA basketball heats up with a Big 12 ACC challenge at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Junior standout Angie Well leads number 7 Iowa State against legendary coach Kay Yao and the Wolfpack of number 19 NC State. Then at 3 Eastern, number 15 Oklahoma heads to Chapel Hill to meet North Carolina. ESPN and ESPN2, the exclusive home of the women's NCAA basketball tournament. Back in Boston inside the Fleet Center as the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships continue the pairs short program. The Hartzels in the lead over Scott and Dulabon, then Handy and Hunt in third as Tiffany and Johnny Stiegler take the ice. They rounded out the top 5 at the Nationals last season, but they have had injuries and really so much to deal with on and off the ice to get to this point. Only 16 and 18 years of age, respectively.
One of the challenges this team has had is Tiffany had quite a growth spurt take place, and she really caught up with Johnny. There's not much of a size difference between the two, and that has inhibited their ability to do very powerful lifts and throws, a fall right off the top.
But their extension and flow over the ice, they skate so fast and make everything look so big. But these elements are so crucial. Falling on that triple toe.
By the way, we missed singing happy birthday to Tiffany earlier this week. She just turned 17 this week.
But on a move like that, when there's not a lot of height difference between the two people, it's hard to throw your partner up into the air and get great amplitude. But they do have very nice line style when they're skating. And these spins are just too far apart. You want to spin closer to your partner when performing the side-by-side spins.
Listen, though, to what they have been through. Tiffany tore her ACL in July. Didn't get back onto the ice until October. They really only had 3 weeks or so to do all their elements in practice. Johnny had a groin injury last year that has since healed. And we found out earlier that today their grandfather was taken to the hospital due to a seizure. And certainly, we hope that he is okay, but a lot on their mind and a lot to deal with physically for this young pair.
She's also been battling bronchitis and pneumonia, so she's on antibiotics. She is not feeling up to herself.
Well, they're very close. The brother and sister team, they've been skating and competing together since they were 5 and 7 years of age. That's very early. Tiffany and Johnny Stiegler, their effort here in the short program.
The throw triple loop jump. She just doesn't get the left leg back to stop the rotation, and a hard fall right there.
Hi, Nora.
Hey, watch out next year.
On the left of your screen, Irina Rodnina, one of their coaches. All she did was win 10 world titles and 3 Olympic gold medals. That's all. First set of marks now for the Stieglers. 3.8 to 4.8.
That bandage definitely reflecting the injury. Hard to take the impact coming out of those big throws and jumps on the right knee. These marks quite low for them. 4.0 down to 3.8.
Yeah. Second set now 4.8 up to 5.5. So those a little bit higher, but the Stieglers in 6th place overall. And don't forget the reigning U.S. champion still to come. Kyoko Ina and her partner John Zimmerman getting ready backstage. They'll take the ice in just a little bit here in Boston. There's a look at a man who knows all about the risks involved in pair skating. Paul Binabose hugging Steve Hartzell. Of course, he had the fractured skull last year, nearly died, and it's great to see him back watching figure skating here at the Fleet Center. Danielle and Steve still have the lead here in the pairs short program, followed by Scott and Dulapan, and then the former partner of Paul Binabose, Laura Handy, along with Jonathan Hunt. Remember, this 1/3 of the overall score leading up to the championship free skate over on ABC Sports Saturday evening. Taking the ice right now, the brother-sister team of Seema and Amir Ganaba.
And her all of 4'8" at 14 years old, but she is a spitfire.
Second at the Junior National Championships last season.
And this number was choreographed by Peter Opegard, and a lot of the choreography came from Seema. So she's very creative. They're skating to the music "The Storm" by Vanessa May.
And they have been getting great height on this move, the split double twist lift. He's 5'11", so that just shows how much taller he is.
Go ahead, do the math very quickly.
Yeah, really.
Go ahead.
But what I mean is he can really throw her up into the air.
Seema, a freshman in high school this year, 4 years younger than her brother.
And now they go for their side-by-side triple toe loops. They pulled them off. Little squeaky on the landing.
Only a throw double Salchow. Remember that within the short program, you can do a throw double or a throw triple, so they will not receive a deduction for that.
They skate with a lot of flair and sharpness, and they really accent this music so well.
Well, those spins weren't together, but at the end they managed to get them together, and that's through hours of practice. When you lift the lady like that, she takes on the characteristics of a sail going through the air, and there's actually drag, so you have to compensate for that and make sure you keep your partner right over your head, not let her drift away.
Look at Seema. She is just loving performing this number. She really gets into the choreography. dramatic.
At 4'8", she's really making quite a statement.
She is.
Their first trip to the Senior National Championships. They told us earlier that she started skating when she was 18 months, and he was 4. She wanted to be on the ice with her brother. I bet he could really throw her back then.
Oh, yeah. Side-by-side triple toe loops. Right here, they go up into the air, 3 rotations, and you're looking to see if there's a 2-foot landing. Just a little bit cheated. That means she didn't get around 3 times, but still, well done. And then this is the throw double sow cow. No deduction, plenty of height, though. 3 feet in the air, perpendicular to the ice. Nice landing.
4.5.
One of their coaches, Roger Bass, who coaches them along with John Nix. He's alongside the first set. The crowd didn't like these at all.
3.3 and
3.9, the low mark.
We're seeing a very wide range of marks here.
Well, the throw triples or throw double sow cow wasn't as difficult as the throw triple, so that may be an element that they've marked down.
And 4.7.
Maybe a time deduction, too, in terms of going over the allotted time, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Presentation marks a wide range there. So the Ganabas in 9th place overall. May have deserved better. Coming up next, the reigning U.S. champions, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman. Their first title last season. They feel like they've taken it up a notch already this season.
I think we have character this year. You know, before it was technical or artistic, and this year we have character. We're communicating better throughout our program. Everything feels natural, so it's fun to skate that way.
ESPN2's presentation of the 2001 State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy, Chevy will be there.
And the ESPY goes to Don't Give Up, Don't Ever Give Up.
What is it about the greatest sporting events, the ones we remember, have a rousing kickoff?
Elvis has not left the building. He's right here, baby.
They have certifiable star power.
I ain't leaving here till I get some autographs.
The ones we remember have moments of levity.
Do you know what a bad lie really is? It's when you tell the nominees, other than Tiger Woods, oh, sure, you've got a real shot at the ESPY.
Moments that surprise us.
It's a tie. Tiger Woods and Ken Griffey Jr.
Moments that move us.
David would be very proud, and I wish he was here beside me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest events build to a climax and leave us wanting more. The ESPYs, the greatest night in sports.
More great ESPY moments will happen on February 12th from Las Vegas. Tiger Woods pulled in a record 6 nominations for this year's ESPYs. Catch the superstars in sports celebrating excellence at the 2001 ESPYs from the MGM Grand Hotel. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Welcome back to Boston inside the Fleet Center. The State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships continue. The pairs short program heats up now. We've got the reigning U.S. champions taking the ice.
And John Zimmerman.
Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, well known not only in American figure skating circles, but also on the international stage. They went on to place 7th at last season's World Championships in Nice and would like to win their 2nd straight U.S. title. They are certainly the team to watch here in Boston.
And they're skating to last year's program, to the Truman Show. And I think this choice of music really accentuates their style and their strength.
And one thing that Tamara Mospina, their coach, has given them is a wonderful extension within their skating. Here, the side-by-side triple toe loops, and John flipping forward there. Not what he wanted. Not as bad as a fall, but not a smooth landing.
Nice split. double twist.
Absolutely.
Good lift and good split.
And that's important, Peggy, to really attain that split before the 2 rotations.
Now their throw, triple Salchow. Watch his back inside edge take off.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Pitching forward with the upper body, causing all of the motion to go down toward the ice instead of across the ice.
This is a bit of a disaster for them, having these 2 major faults in this program. But I do see a tremendous improvement in their unison and their strength and their overall carriage of their skating over the ice. It's much improved.
This is where they've really improved their combination spin, pulling apart, then pulling in, and then this final position in true Tamara Mosvina style. A great way to end the program.
Oh, absolutely. But very disappointing for them.
And Peggy, you mentioned earlier the bronze medal at Trophy La Ligue during the Grand Prix Series. There was a general feeling that they had turned the corner with that bronze medal. And there's Tamara Mosvina, the legendary Russian coach who has coached them. They are now in their 3rd season together, but that's a disappointing short program. Not what Ina and Zimmerman were looking for at all.
Well, it's opened the door. And here is a look at that triple toe loop that John missed in the beginning. He gets up in the air, but his feet are crossed, and he doesn't uncross them soon enough to have a nice clean landing. And that was a very rough beginning, and it wasn't over. And here they went into their throw, triple Salchow, good height in the air, but she just maybe got up a little too high and really anticipated that landing a little too soon, and just couldn't hold on.
It's important to note that last year when Ina and Zimmerman won their national championship, the Hartzels were out because of the knee injury that Danielle suffered. So the 99 champs going against the 2000 champs, and now the first set of marks, 4.9, the low mark up to 5.4.
The marks indicating these mistakes, the focus not there. Now they have to suffer with these low marks.
Lack of concentration, maybe, Peggy, or focus?
I think so. I mean, they're just starting to be at that world level, and it takes a lot more.
Second set now for presentation, 5.3 to 5.8. They're still alive. Don't forget, if you're in the top 3 going into the free skate, you control your own destiny. Ina and Zimmerman now in second behind the Hartzels. And there's a happy team right there. Steve Hartzell, you hit your head on the ice hard. You get 12 stitches after practice. No problem. You come back strong with your sister Danielle to take the lead after the pair's short program. A check of the standings, the Hartzels ahead of Ina and Zimmerman, the 2000 champs, and then Scott and Dulevon, the silver medalists last year in Cleveland. They round out the top 3 ahead of Handy and Hunt. The Stieglers in 7th right now. The bronze medalists from last season, Spielberg and Joe Wright, in 9th. Ahead of the Ganabas, the crowd loved them. They are in 11th right now. The team in 2nd place, Ina and Zimmerman. Downstairs with Susie Wynn right now. Susie?
Thanks, Terry. Kyoko and John, as the season's progressed, you've really shown a lot of improvement. But here in the short, you made some mistakes. What happened?
I don't know what happened out here tonight. You know, we've been skating really well. And the last few events that we've competed in, the short's been going great. So, you know, it's disappointing for us that we didn't get a chance to show everyone here that, you know, that we've been skating well. So hopefully in the long it'll go much better.
Now going into the long, you're in 2nd place. What are you going to do? What's your strategy to get back on track?
Well, we're going to take it one element at a time, you know, and we're just going to
do what we know we can do in practice, and we can really skate well in good programs, you know. So we're going to take one element at a time and do well.
Well, good luck to both of you. Terry, back to you.
All right, Susie, we've got a long way to go. Tomorrow night at 7 on ESPN, the men's short program. Then the ladies get their chance on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock. And Saturday, all the championships are decided. Over on ABC Sports, our coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern. Up next, Australian Open tennis. For Peggy Fleming, Peter Carruthers, and Susie Wynn, I'm Terry Gannon. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night, everybody.